when you are learning, say, a ballet dance, it's a huge exercise. If you have ever seen the classes begin when the child is at age of 3. And from 3 to actually by 18, the whole career is done. So this child who goes to the ballet school is practicing and stretching and stretching and stretching and learning to stand on the toes with the poise and learning to harden up the tips of the toes in such a way that they have these special shoes which they wear, and with the help of that shoe, obviously, but still they are standing tall on the toes, tip of the toes, and not only standing, they are leaping, they are jumping, they are twirling, they are dancing, they are doing everything. But when they begin, it's torture. They bleed, they ache, they break their muscles sometimes, they have spasms. The life of any ballet dancer is a very, very tough, disciplined life, and they go through a lot of pain sometimes. But once they have practiced enough, then they're dancing, they're jumping, everything is so effortless. I saw the very famous ballet dance of the Russia, the Swan. Once I was in England, and I especially actually flew to this city to watch this show. And how beautifully they are gliding in the air. They are doing the dance with that poise, and that live musicians are playing, and the singing is happening, and it's like a magical dream world which you see. But that dancer is, at that point, after so many years of practice. So initially, if somebody, now I'll bring this analogy to my point, and my point is this, that when somebody begins the journey on this path, it's a great effort to calm the mind, to make it quiet, to do the dharana, to integrate, to have that right level of concentration. The mind is slipping away like mercury. Mind is like that frog which is just jumping around. And it's hard to even sit for half an hour. Is like eternity. Person who just begins, because the mind is filled with so much of strong emotions and is filled with so many desires and is filled with so many prejudices, so it becomes very difficult for the person to sit down calm, right? But as the practice goes deeper and deeper, the mind is actually then in a zone where the mind doesn't even exist. That's what the Buddhists call it, the no mind. It's not that the mind will go in total shunyata or emptiness, but it is not there. Like your body shadow is formed when there is sun, and once there is no sun, there is no body shadow. So where did the shadow go? Shadow is not different from the body, but yet for a shadow to be, there has to be some source of light. Even now there is no sun, but the lights over here are falling on your body, so the shadows are again being created. But that shadow is not different from the body. That shadow doesn't have its own identity. That shadow is just there because the body is there. So you don't say, okay, now I am going to go to temple, and then you talk to your shadow, do you want to go? Come along. You don't do that. You don't buy a ticket for a bus and say, this is one ticket for me and one for my shadow. The shadow is the body. The body is creating that shadow. So for a jnani, this whole world is shadow. My shadow. It's like my shadow. And shadow is not different from me.